through all this stuff. I'm going to answer all the questions, and then I might actually poll the audience. Ladies, in the back. What I'm going to do is just want to quickly go through what's going to happen now. Is I'm going to start up top over here, and I'm going to address the questions, and then I'm going to give my opinions. And what I want you guys to do is this. This is a 20 group atmosphere now. Not like, just raise your hand. If you want to add to what I'm saying, if you agree with what I'm saying, or you disagree, or if you've got a better idea, I'm here to learn too. This is a synergy session, so to speak. All right? So let's start over here. The question that you turned around and said is that the management, let me repeat it. What I heard you say is that the management is a little bit difficult. Is that correct? And they don't believe in it or what have you. I'm going to say this because you know that I really care about your family. You know what I mean? Like, they're personal friends, not just my clients. I got to tell you, you guys are too damn nice. That's what the problem is. Point blank is that you own this business, and again, this is not a philosophical issue. It is a kindness issue. You need to just tell them that this is your organization. If you let other people dictate your policy for your own store, you're going to get the results that you're getting. I agree with you. It drives me crazy the way that they talk to you, the way they disrespect you, and you're the owner's daughter. That is absolutely unacceptable. So, am I correct or am I wrong?
No, you're right.
Louder.
You're correct.
Okay, so again, really simple. I would turn around and check them. I would go to Isaac, your brother, I go to your dad, and I'd be like, listen, if you really want to make real money, what have you, we need to make changes from the top. It doesn't start with the manager, it starts with the ownership, and it trickles down. Would you guys agree with that? Okay, so that's what you should absolutely do, is have a come to Jesus meeting, literally and metaphorically, and then tell them, look, you got a choice. You're going to operate my way, or you're going to do them a favor. You're going to have a bucket and a squeegee and give them their new career and tell them, go be all they can be. Point blank. That's it. Duran, yours?
It was being overwhelmed.
Overwhelmed.
With tasks from all areas, from service, sales.
This is very important. This is the 7 habits of highly effective people. That's why I have this in the class. It's very difficult to time manage and be organized. Again, there's the third habit is putting first things first. Okay, see, Franklin Covey's third habit is putting first things first. You've got to be able to prioritize. There's always truly gifted and effective people are able in real time to identify their rolling, habits or issues or procedures that they've got to do, and all the fires that get dumped on you. If you're not able to categorize and put first things first, you're going to always just be running around like a hamster in the wheel. Does that make sense? So one of the best things I could say is for you to go through this class on Wednesday for time management, leadership, organization, and to be specific. Dr. Covey says that the #1 most effective thing that we can do for time management and organization, believe it or not, is weekly planning. Not daily planning, not monthly planning, but weekly planning. I actually met with Dr. Covey myself in Detroit. It was an honor, and I had a brief conversation, and this man said that's the #1 thing that you can do is weekly planning. So that's my little tip here. So you've got to identify what are the things you need to do that week. Whether it's, whether appointments, phone calls, but if it's training, it's one-on-ones, it's vendor meetings, this and that, you need to identify your calendar on a weekly level. So that's the most effective thing you can do. Also, being able to categorize, putting first things first, what is the absolute most effective thing that's going to, perpetuate your success. One more thing. The other thing that I was going to also say is that this is what helps me, and I learned this a long time ago. You've got to look at yourself and your team and ask one question. What is the most profound thing that I can do to dramatically enhance myself or my organization? That's what you need to ask yourself. And you make your people, and think about that. That's pretty deep. If you could really get them to think about that, what is the most profound, most significant thing that I could do today that will change my organization? Okay, next.
We're the ones in the Washington, D.C. market. We've got big competitors. We want to learn how to get more leads, get more appointments, and compete with these bigger competitors.
Okay, now, one more time. I'm processing. Ask it again. Say it again.
Our biggest challenge is how we compete more with the bigger competitors, effectively get more leads, produce us more leads, convert to appointments?
Okay, very simple. Dr. Covey, second habit, begin with the end result in mind. I know this stuff sounds familiar because I say it to you guys all the time, but begin with the end result in mind. If we just say, I want to be the biggest, I want to be the best, it's never going to happen. You've got to be able to quantify that statement. You got, if you have bigger competitors, that means nothing to me. I don't really care about any of that stuff. If there's bigger competitors, and that shows me, that's a good thing, that there's huge opportunities around. What you need to do is begin with the end result in mind. Figure out how many cars you want to sell. If it's 50 cars, if it's 100 cars, you just backwards into the numbers. If you want to sell 100 cars to the internet, that might seem like astronomically crazy. No, not really. You need to get about 1,000 leads. Where the hell are you going to get 1,000 leads from? Well, average cost per opportunity is about $20 per opportunity. So that equals about $20,000. So again, you begin with the end result in mind. If you want to sell 100 internet cars, man up with 20 grand, and then I could, advise you, and you're going to see this tomorrow, where you spend that money. You're going to spend it in, SEO, VSEO, social media, third-party providers, aggregators, online classified listings, etc. And then, you're going to figure out if it's 100 leads, 100 deals, it's 1,000 leads, I'm going to need X amount of people to perpetuate this momentum. Does that make sense? So to answer that question, the biggest challenge is, well, how do I compete against all these people? The simple answer, begin with a plan. The plan is this, begin with the end result in mind. What are you looking to accomplish? How many cars do you want to sell? And once you answer that question, then you're going to be able to map it out. Does that make sense? Sure. Okay, let's just do this, students. We're doing this for real. How many cars do you really want to sell out of that department?
100 plus.
Okay, and how many did we start with this?
We started with 40.
40. Now to do 40, you need 400 leads or what have you. Do you see the difference here? In the first statement, I've heard that, I want to, compete against the big people and sell, X amount of cars. But your model that you're starting is, and it's not a bad model either, you're starting slow to kind of build into it. Now, thank goodness, because of turnover and stuff like that, that's pretty damn smart. But once you get it into rhythm, then that's all the model is beginning with the end result in mind. Make sense?
And that's where our process is.
Absolutely. Okay. So, anybody else in this table? Okay, let's go over here. And you should stop it and not have it so it's not like 10 minutes long. What have you? Just stop it, press the red button. It's still going.